Hello, friends. Our study today focuses on 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 14 to 17. In order to understand this text properly, we need to imagine we live in the Roman Empire. You see, after an outstanding military victory, the Romans would hold a triumphal march as a celebration. It would begin at the gates of the city where the victorious general was welcomed by government officials. The procession consisted of a body of magistrates and the senators at the head, after which came the trumpeters announcing the approach of the victor. Following that, there was a long train of carts filled with the spoils of war, such as rare items or valuables for everyone to see. Next in the procession came white bulls and oxen destined for sacrifice. In different parts of the procession, you could find incense bearers waving their censers around, perfuming the air. There were also lions, tigers, elephants, and other exotic animals paraded from the captive lands. Following that were the captive kings, princes, and generals, and a long train of captives, usually chained in some way. And then came the conqueror himself, standing in a magnificent chariot with a crown of laurel or gold on his head. In one hand he held a branch of laurel, which was a symbol of his victory, and on his other hand he held a type of staff or baton, symbolizing his authority. Behind him marched the officers and horse soldiers and foot soldiers who had fought under him with laurel bows on their spears, all symbols of victory. The procession continued through the crowded streets along the Via Sacra, through the Triumphal Arch, all the way to the Capitoline Hill. There it stopped, and some of the captives were executed in cold blood or thrown into prison to await death in the Colosseum. Others were pardoned and set free. Animal sacrifices were offered to the Roman gods, and the triumphal feast began. During these occasions, the entire city was filled with the fragrance of incense, perfume, flowers, and the smell of smoke from the sacrificial altars. Paul says that Christ is the great conqueror in the triumphal procession, and we are in that procession with him. As followers of Christ, we are to carry that perfume with us. That fragrance is the knowledge of Christ that is to be diffused in every part of our lives. Now, some of those who marched in the procession were on their way to execution, others on their way to release or triumph. Everyone breathed the same perfume as they marched along. But to one group of people, it was a reminder of death. To the other, a reminder of life. And the same applies to the gospel. Those who accept it look forward to a happy future, but those who reject it, the gospel becomes a warning of death. And the gospel should never leave a person the same as before hearing it. May the gospel lead you to eternal life and not to eternal condemnation. And with that, we come to the end of our nugget. I'll see you tomorrow.